After decades of amazing Star Wars games, each exploring different elements of the franchise, one stands out above the rest and has been regarded as the best game of the series: the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. But after 18 years, many updates, bug fixes, and content drops, have we finally seen a worthy successor to the original in the form of the 2017 reboot? Is DICE's Battlefront 2 even worthy of its title, or is everyone being nostalgically biased when comparing the two games? Strap yourselves in, because we're about to find out. Starting off with the core gameplay, both games share the same foundation, having 4 base classes and a few specialists that cost battle points. The original was chaotic arcade fun at its best, perfect for those Friday arvos after school with friends. The controls allowed for fast-paced gameplay, no animation is too slow, and your soldier feels physically capable for everything, and the flying was no exception. What's more, changing classes was quick and done live mid-battle, and manding a vehicle was simple. Just hop in and take off or start driving. No sitting on a menu screen out of action for 2 minutes or just randomly spawning in. Every part of the gameplay made sure you were in the battlefront at all times. And the in-game physics and animations turned the fun up to 11, like being tossed around from force pushes or heavy explosions, the way your character jolts when getting shot, and the clean lightsaber throw and blaster deflect animations that put Jedi Fallen Orders to shame. They even made the primary weapons of each faction fire differently, some with a slower fire rate but with more accuracy and vice versa. It's like every part of the gameplay is made to make you feel like you're in the movies, even in the space battles. Basically everything you saw in the opening scene from episode 3 is possible in-game. Even the auto turrets try shooting you down when getting too close, you're constantly dodging enemy torpedoes, flying to enemy hangars and taking out their vital systems, making it feel like you're actually there, even when dying, accompanied with the best space controls of its generation. But the focus on co-op functionality helps give the original's basic gameplay more depth. The assault class is gonna do most of the carnage, but it has limited ammo and no way to recover health, so having an engineer to heal other teammates, repair vehicles, or down gonk and back to droids is key. But if vehicles are sweeping your team, look no further than the heavy class for rockets or to mine an unexpected vehicle, or to plant all mines on a friendly vehicle, while snipers provide overwatch and supporting fire. Every class feels important and has a specific role that the other can't really fill. And most vehicles can hold 2 to 5 other teammates with different weapons to man. For a 2005 game, this is as good as it gets. The amount of freedom of choice the devs incorporated into each element still stands true to this day. And I haven't even talked about the specialists or heroes, which further spice things up. Although many of the heroes felt very similar in abilities and animations, there was enough variety to keep each experience slightly different. The only real problem with the original's gameplay is that there isn't too much strategy involved, since the game has 0 customization. Every class shares mostly the same kit, not including primary guns and secondary equipment. So the type of situations you encounter become very limited infantry-wise. Most battles are solved with extra blaster fire or explosive spamming. It doesn't help that the AI isn't the smartest either, sometimes blatantly not doing anything or getting stuck in areas of maps, as well as the graphics being outshined by the remake in every way. The models even start doing this moonwalk when they're out of the render circle. As kids, this is what we saw, but this is what we imagined. Updated visuals, animations that pay homage to the characters, gameplay with modern elements like customization for skins and class abilities through star cards, heroes having unique abilities based off of things they did in the movies and TV series, and increased different types of blaster fire and health are just some of the improvements made to add depth to the gameplay of the remake. For example, in the original, you got 3 ways to take down a Droideka shield. Shoot for 2 minutes, grenade spam, or kamikaze with a mine. Walking in the shield doesn't work. But in the remake, the Droideka's shield's health is a different type to the normal health, so you can prepare by switching your ammo to the ion type, which affects the shields way more. Or a star card with ion shot or explosive damage to instantly take down its shield, or bypass its shield by walking in and shooting it square in the... This is just one example, adding 30 players with their own unique kits and it only gets better. With this much variety in each class, naturally it opens up so much possibility for team synergy. You can be a more supportive role, buffing your team's fire rate / cooldowns for weapons, star card abilities and or adding temporary health, which with the right combos are some of the strongest in the game. Or maybe a more aggressive role suits your playstyle, like being a full squad of Republic commandos plowing through a checkpoint, working together as Jedi and ARC Trooper in the front lines, Zerg rushing with droidekas, or maybe playing defensive is your thing, like using disruption abilities to slow the enemy from pushing to the objective while your team provides more heavy supporting fire, are just some of the great team compositions that you can experiment with friends that the original Battlefront can't replicate. It helps that the shooting, movement, and evasion all feel just as fluid as the original, keeping the fast-paced intensity synonymous with the franchise. Some people find the remake too chaotic and unbalanced, but that's just the nature of the game. Sure, you're probably gonna die a lot from random explosions, and the specialist classes and heroes almost always outmatch normal units, but that's why they cost battle points. And to be fair, generally speaking, you can't just run in a room as a hero alone and kill everyone unless the other team is really bad. The smartest specialists and heroes stay with their team as they push, sharing the aggro so they don't just get mowed down, while pro players occasionally can outsmart higher ranked classes and take them down solo. The only exception to this are actually broken heroes like General Grievous having the most inconsistent hitbox ever, and the insane damage reduction in Claw Rush. There are other examples, but just not as bad. And it might seem like heroes are OP, but there's always a workaround, like explosive shots for guard spamming Jedi, or AoE abilities to disrupt dive heroes. The point is, although the original is fun with how simple it can be, the remake improves on its formula by implementing modern gameplay elements, better visuals, animations, abilities, and even movie-accurate sounds and effects, with some of the original voices coming back to reprise their roles.
Too bad you have to count on bounty hunters. Fair here, let's get this over with.
Making it the ultimate immersive Star Wars experience to date, though the original voice lines are still a classic.
Just like the simulation.
But where the remake lacks the most is in the absence of co-op vehicles and direct player assistance. You can't repair or directly heal your friends, and defending our co-pilots from enemy fighters as they do a bombing run are things of the past for now. And you can't land or get out of starfighters in the remake, limiting to just dogfights, but still, the space battle modes are pretty cool, with similar objectives to the original. Though, these problems aren't enough to completely ruin the experience like the game's launch state did. So, although a close match, in terms of gameplay alone, the original is just outdated by the remake in nearly every way. But the gameplay doesn't matter if there isn't any fun game modes to go with it. So, which had the best game modes? Find out in part 2.